2, 1.
My name is Mary Hughes. I'm the eldest child of John Michael Broome Hughes, known as Mike to all his friends and colleagues. I was born in Kelantan and grew up in Penang, and I'm here to talk about my father's book, TheWhiteCrocodile'sTale. Tale. For whom my father wrote the book really matters, because his memoirs were written with the kind of playfulness that you would have if you were talking to people you really liked after dinner, and people you valued and trusted, and people who you loved a lot. Friendship was one of my father's core values, because when he felt safe with friends, he could achieve almost anything. And I believe that when he started writing his memoirs, he didn't fully appreciate this. It was something he learnt late in life, and the memoirs were of huge value to him personally as he began to do it. The second reason why he wrote it and for whom he wrote it matters is that when he started writing, Mike was looking back over the best part of one of the most tumultuous, difficult, marvellous centuries humanity has ever known. And to be able to tell a story about that century meant to be able to be a supreme storyteller. And one of the gifts of a supreme storyteller is to be able to join the past and the future while sitting in the present. Difficult to do. The 20th century, of course, is a challenge much written about. Dad's stream of words joins so many other streams of words, become a river of experience. And I hope that the audience that will appreciate his book is much wider than perhaps the people who think about him sentimentally or have some memory of him. And I hope his words join with others and become a river of knowledge for better use for more people. So what is The White Crocodile's Tale all about? Well, it's the life of a middle-class British school teacher committed to his own code of good behaviour, devoted to his wife, his family and his community. So, another sentimental read about pastimes from a relatively privileged European cultural perspective from somebody who was part of empire? Well, if you wish, yes. But this writer, my father, was delighted to be the last of the British. You see, I was old enough to be able to eavesdrop on his conversations. He was thrilled to see the door of Merdeka wide open and be part of that, and for it to have happened in peace. I stood there out in that padang with my parents as one flag went down and one went up. I was tiny, but it's one of my earliest memories. I can still remember the expressions on their faces. No regret, no tears, just joy that their work had been done, and smiles of pleasure that the people they liked so much were taking things forward. The White Crocodile's Tale is a book my father wrote, and as a daughter you're always going to say, oh, Dad, but, read it, and it is the Malaysians who stay with you once you put it down. The cast of high-achieving, funny, bright, mischievous, talented, but totally, wholly honourable young people. They come into the book at chapter 5 and they stay with you right till the end until they are old men and women themselves. Those people and their schools, the Penang Free School, the Malay College, Sultan Ismail College, they take you on their journeys. My father can't help it. Their delight in learning, their respect for knowledge, apparently so refreshing to Dad after his more war-jaded, pessimistic British kids, prompts reflections on the importance of where and when you originate from, for potential to be set free and to flourish. Don't forget this was around Merdeka, about a new country starting up. But potential has to be noticed first, and I think my father knew great potential when he saw it. Whether he knew it more than instinctively, I'm not sure, but he realised it fed on learning, which in turn feeds on experience. He took boys on trips to Langkawi to experience geology, geography and nature rather than just thrusting theory into their heads. He knew that going out and being allowed to get things wrong, to learn in safety, to make mistakes in safety, to learn the lessons meant that you can get them right when later it really matters. We travelled quite widely after our Malaysian days. We went around the world actually, but no other time was quite like them. Nor did we ever meet the extraordinary, brilliant people we met in Malaysia and in Penang, and whose generosity and friendship offered to my mother and father lasted right throughout their long lives, and which became one of their treasured, most happiest gifts in life. I think one of the things that we need to remember here is who was actually doing the learning. In the White Crocodile's book, it's a story by a teacher, an educator. But I think when you read it, and as his daughter, I feel I can say, the real pupil in this story is one J.M.BHughes, and his teachers, his talented, bright, amazing teachers, were many and varied, and most of them came from Penang. Terima kasih, Banyak-Banyak.